All right, so I have a public service announcement for 70% of the population. You are a generator. You may be a sacral generator or an emotional generator. This is the life force of this planet. The generators are responsible for building and maintaining the physical world. You have quite a responsibility. I have quite a responsibility. We have quite a responsibility. For you see, this world we see all around us was created because other generators, like you and I, were acting out of conditioning, not out of our heart, but out of our mind, that the world gave us. We were acting out of conditioning, and we created a world that's pretty wonky, in case you haven't noticed. And so we come to a point wherein the knowledge is here. The awareness of how to live correctly, how to live properly, is here. This wasn't available until about 40 years ago. Literally, it wasn't on the planet. But it's here now. We can talk about form principle. For you see, human design is the science of differentiation itself. And so differentiation is not only why is there something. Actually, let me take that back. There is no answer of the question to why. We're not answering why. These are mechanics. This is how. This is what is actually occurring behind the scenes. You know how in The Wizard of Oz, they pulled the curtain back and it was just some old dude in a machine? Well, the machine is this body, and we have the specifications. For me personally, I'm a 1-3 emotional generator. So that means my solar plexus is defined. You see, in the old days, when we were 7-centered beings, in yoga we called the energy centers chakras. And the solar plexus was the 3rd chakra. Now that we have entered a fundamentally different state of being, where quite literally and physically, everything anybody ever said who was born before 1781 does not have anything to do with what you are. And that accounts for 100% of the population. For every single person alive today is a 9-centered being. We are not that Cro-Magna or the Cro-Magnon or the Neanderthal, the 7 or the 5-centered beings that came before. That's not what we are. And all those teachers, all those gurus, those priests, those prophets, wonderful people, terrible people, opinions, doesn't make a difference because it's not relevant. The way to live correctly as a human being in this day and age, as a 9-centered being, is to follow one's strategy and authority. For you see, this is a simple formula that opens the doorway into deconditioning. You see, I had no idea how much conditioning was out there in the world and in the New Age, for example, especially in the New Age. I was always a free thinker. I am a free thinker. And I was always drawn to different esoteric, different fascinating things, outlying things, the odd, the fascinating, the supernatural things. And the vast majority of it is basically smoke and mirrors. However, when you get down to it, this entire physical dimension is a smoke and mirror trick. So why not make the best of it while we're in the middle of it? That's where strategy and authority comes into play. You see, this simple formula, it allows your mind release. For you see, my mind no longer makes decisions for me in my life. My body makes its own decisions. It has a life of its own. My mind is here to share and to talk with you about what it's learned by watching this body over time. Because these bodies are a miracle. There is nothing more powerful or amazing than this thing right here. Right there. The thing watching this is the most magnificent, fantastic, amazing miracle imagination could have ever conceived. And that's a fact.